Hey everybody, it's your boy Captain Hunter coming at you again. Big L PhD, Big L PhD. We're talking about your journey, academic issues, situations, all that kind of stuff, right? So I want to talk today a little bit about procrastination. This situation that we all deal with, right? Dealing with procrastination. How do we deal with procrastination, right? Something that we all kind of deal with. And there's all type of different articles, right? Um, you know, I'm trying to make this more of a conventional kind of conversation, but there are different articles that I've read over the years, as recent as a few weeks ago, about procrastination. I teach some leadership classes, I teach a management organizational type of stuff, and so therefore I've read over the material about procrastination. Some say these people are really secretly highly motivated. Some say that it's some type of laziness, right? There's really no definitive answer as to why people procrastinate. But the biggest issue is no matter what reason that you're doing it, whether you really are a highly intelligent person, you have a lack of motivation, aren't interested in the material, don't feel like doing it, concerned about not getting a good grade, or concerned about not passing, or all that, you got to get it done, right? At the end of the day, when we finish talking about whatever reasons you're doing it, you still have to get it done. You have to develop a plan, a scheme, an idea, a roadmap, call it what you want, to get this project done. Whether it's a paper, a project, a PowerPoint presentation, a video, a survey, interview, you got to get it done. And so I think you really have to keep your eyes on the prize. I would say number one is keep your eyes on the prize. Keep your eyes on the prize as far as what you want to do, what you want to be, and it's not gonna happen overnight. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. All these different types of sayings have to ring true. So the first thing I would suggest is really just kind of cutting things up. It's crazy. Really cutting things up. Smaller bites are easier to consume. When you first read something, I remember, for a class I recently took, it's a 20-page paper at the end, in 8 weeks, 20 pages. And so when you're faced with writing a 20-page paper, it can seem daunting. Now that's nothing in comparison, some 50-page papers and, dissertations and theses. I don't know. Thesis. Obviously, 30, 40, 50 pages is nothing. But if you're going to wait till the last minute, then it's going to be daunting. You're never going to want to stop. So, as you get a new class, I flipped through the syllabus and saw this. And I immediately started working on it, right? Even though you got other papers along the way. We had small little, I don't think there was actually, I think that was the only paper due. Probably had some discussion questions, maybe a PowerPoint here and there. But I think that was the bulk of the work, And what classifies as acceptable work for a degree, I'm not going to get into all that, 20, 30 pages or whatever. But anyway, so what you have to do is break it up. So I immediately started working on it. All right, every week I did 2 or 3 pages. I was done by week 6 because one day I did like 4. Right, you start getting that mode of writing it. You'll never, you want to turn it on, right? So I finished the section, whatever. So you got to keep your eyes on the prize, break it up into little chunks, smaller, more adaptable, more manageable bites. to get this thing done. So those are some of the biggest steps about it, right? You got to get it. You got to get it done, whether it's at work or for school. You got to get it done, right? Otherwise, you're not going to pass. You're not going to get another assignment. If you fail, you're going to mess up and embarrass yourself. Particularly, I'm talking about if you're at work. So you're not going. How do you get through that? How do you manage that? So breaking it up into smaller, manageable bites, doing a little bit every day, starting, right? Now, this is for a paper or an assignment that's a few days off, right? And if the assignment is within a couple days, hopefully not because you procrastinated, but maybe your boss gave you an assignment and he wants it done by, today's Wednesday as I record this, maybe he wants it done by Friday. You just got to have the willpower to shut off everything. And this idea that people work better under pressure, there's research about that. You guys are all, I'm assuming if you're watching this, you're an academic or thinking about becoming an academic. You can read all that kind of research. The quality of work that you hand in, if you're pressed for time, and how much reviewing can you do. I personally, if the boss wants something on Friday, I want it done by Wednesday or Thursday, because that way I can shut it off, come back to it, a day later. Try to get it done on Wednesday, get back to it a day later, and then Thursday, and then read it again, and find mistakes and a better way of phrasing something. That's the way I operate. But I recognize everybody doesn't operate like that, can't operate like that. When I do expert testimony work, I tell them, listen, if you want to report, whenever you want to report, you got to give me 2 weeks notice. Because I'm not going to write the report in 3 days. I'm not going to write the report in 3 days. I'm not going to write it in a day. I want it to be done right. I want it to be perfect. Lawyers are going to look at this. It's going to be entered into court records and stuff. And it's not. I'm not going to hand you some slop. I'm not going to hand you some rushed slop. So, dealing with procrastination is understanding yourself, what motivates you, understanding, timelines, and breaking those up into smaller bites along the way, making it manageable, making it reasonable. You have to also be able to deal with the things that are allowing yourself to become distracted. That is a major, major issue, I think, today. Social media, TV, calling your friends, taking a nap, getting something to eat, the phone rings, all that. You have to shut all that stuff off. Put your phone in another room. Shut off social media, turn off your TV, hide the remote. Do these types of things that will make it easier or less easy, however you want to look at it, less easy to be distracted. That's what you really have to focus on and work on doing. Developing the discipline. It's a big truck over here waiting till the last second to scoot over. What is wrong with you? Making it less easier for you to become distracted. So, it's not lost on me what just happened. I didn't get distracted by a truck there, but on the highway. So listen, you have to really. It takes time, effort, to discipline yourself, and this sometimes comes with age and experience, right? Wisdom, age, experience, because you're not going to get all of this. If you're young, and I'm saying 29 and under, going to school, you don't know yourself really well enough. You could. There's a certain level of maturity that some people have, but generally, a lot of people don't know themselves enough to know what they need to do. And if you do, that's great, and do those things. But I went back to school when I was in my mid 30s, and I had been through school and stuff. I knew what was going to be a distractor. It's so easy to sometimes you got to remove yourself from the distractions, right? If you're working from home, you always get phone calls in your dorm or whatever. You're always getting phone calls. You got to go to. I used to go to Barnes and Noble, go to the library, go to Barnes and Noble, have some earphones in my ear, and just write. You're out the house. Maybe sometimes you need to change the pace and change of scenery to really get motivated to do this assignment. So don't be afraid to change your scenery. Remove any distractions. Right, if you're at home and you just, man, I'm just writing so much. Let me get a sandwich. Maybe you'll be less tempted somewhere else. Less tempted to answer the phone or call someone at a different time or different location, right? All of these things are secrets. Not that they're really secret, but they're all techniques to managing procrastination. Removing yourself from the situation, breaking things up into smaller bites, removing distractions, having distractions removed from you, getting around different places, different scenes, finding a nice quiet place, getting it done. Right? You know you got to get it done. Otherwise, you're not going to pass the class. You're not going to hand this assignment in on time. You know you're not. You know you're not going to get it done. Not going to the party, not going to this. That takes time, effort, and discipline, and that takes a certain level of maturity. And a lot of times people don't have it. When you're 18, 19, 20. But I'm assuming if you're looking at this, that you're thinking about, either a master's degree or in your doctorate program, or you're thinking about it, right? So how do you deal with that, right? How do you deal with that when you have family issues, right? So I hope I said something that was really motivating to you, gave you something to think about. There is no right way to do it. Everybody's going to be different. You can read an article and they can come forth as the expert. This is how you deal with procrastination, and this is what procrastination is. And we know it's putting off. Right? I'm sure that we all agree upon the definition, but techniques about how you deal with it, and foolproof plan, and 5 steps to dealing with it. All that sounds good. Maybe I should start writing out 5 steps to dealing with techniques. 5 steps to dealing with procrastination. Maybe I should start doing that. That way I get the clicks. So 1 is remove yourself from the scene. Break it up into smaller bites. Recognize your skill set. Remove distractions. Try to think of another one here before I let you go. I really just wanted this to be kind of something we did on the fly here, not to be. But, this is all stuff that's really, really important concepts that people need to understand. And you got to figure yourself out. That is the most important thing. What works for me is not going to work for you. It's not going to work for you. I really highly suggest that everybody breaks things up. And if you wait until the last week, to write a 20-page paper, as my class did, and that was the longest class. That was the longest paper we had to write. I think there was another one that was 10 pages. And even that 10-page paper, I started like week 4. And it was due week 7, maybe week 3. Who wants to be sitting up all night writing papers? Come on. Listen, you do something, write 1 or 2 pages. One day I would write the introduction. Next day I would write 2 or 3 from this chapter. Next day write something, or next day you write this, or 1 week you write that. You got weeks to write it, right? And you got other things to do, family responsibilities, all this. Who wants to do all that, right? So that was my way of dealing with procrastination. Another way is, right, I understood myself. So these are just some of the techniques that I would suggest to deal with procrastination. And don't feel bad about it. I would say a 5th one is don't feel bad about it. Everybody deals with it. Everybody doesn't want to do it. We all put things off to the last minute. We all, put off till tomorrow what we can do today. We've all done it, are going to do it. We're all susceptible to this. Nobody's perfect. I'm going to procrastinate about something. So I'll send an email later. Oh, I'll do this later. Or I'll do it. You put a dish in the sink, so I'll do it later. I'll do it. So don't. Maybe that'll be the 5th one. Don't get down on yourself. But develop the mental fortitude to get it done. And all that. So let me know your thoughts, your opinions, or if there's anything that you want me to talk about my PhD journey, how I got things done. Just hit me in the responses or send me an email. Email should be readily available. So much love and peace, everyone.